Hey, so in this live stream, I'm going to talk about the decline of the U.S. empire, decline of U.S. hegemony, a topic that a lot of haters hate to hear, but we're going to talk about that. But yeah, just waiting for people to join the stream. Waiting. We're walking in Brooklyn right now. The weather's nice. Nice weather, you know. We are chilling. Straight grilling in Brooklyn. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the U.S. empire and what it consists of and why is the U.S. in a state of decline, you know? Why? Many reasons, but maybe I'll make it like an actual video about it, talking about the decline of the U.S. empire. Are we going this way? So yeah, those of you who watch mainstream media, mainstream news might not know this, that the Saudi Arabia recently dropped the petrodollar. So they dropped the dollar as a reserve currency for the world. Now I want to look into that a little more to know the actual details of that action, but basically the world is like shifting in a different direction, you know. The BRICS nations that include those of like India, Russia, China, those are forming a new alliance. They're forming a new alliance basically because I mean the world is kind of tired of American bullying, you know, American hegemony, where they just use the military and central banking system. They use like these, you know, these subsidiary organizations like the IMF and then the World Bank to bankrupt poor nations and, you know, put them in debt and then exploit their resources, exploit their labor, you know, for profits. So the world's getting tired of that. And, well, that is changing. And that's the rise of the BRICS nations is a good counter to that reality. Yeah, the first comment is by a hater. You're welcome to leave anytime. I'm just pointing out the fact that the United States is declining, you know? You don't want to hear that, it's fine, but I'm just pointing out the reality, the fact that the United States is declining. The U.S. is in a state of decline, okay? We don't have a good manufacturing base anymore. I mean, a lot of it is automated, but, you know, it's become a service economy. Every empire, especially this empire, right? With the rise of automation and the rise of technological capacity to produce at a high level, well, farming was largely automated. Then it was manufacturing, and then the service sector, which is actually what holds the American society. Really, like the American economy is largely a service economy. You know, most of the jobs that are created are service jobs, which are actually the easiest to automate. That's what's actually so funny about it. They are the easiest to automate. So, I'm talking about the decline of the U.S. empire, the decline of the U.S. system, and how the U.S. is a service economy. It really doesn't produce much anymore, and you only use the military to kind of like oppress poor nations all over the world. And how that's kind of coming to an end, you know, with the rise of the BRICS nations, with Saudi Arabia dropping the dollar, the petrodollar being dropped recently, which is going to spell disaster for the U.S. economy over the long term, you know, not immediately, but I've looked into the history of empires. Every empire lasts about 250, 220 to 250 years, and American empire is pretty much well on course to its imperial decline. You know, it's well on its way. Yeah, it doesn't matter, 24 trillion in GDP, great. Yes, it is still the strongest economy. Things don't change overnight, buddy. Things don't change overnight, but mark my words, it will change for the worst. It will change, you'll see. Yeah, America still is obviously by far the most powerful economy in the world, but that's not going to last forever, okay? It's not going to last forever. Once these other nations create a new reserve currency, which is on the way. I mean, the petrodollar is what really helped America rob the world blind, you know? I don't know if you guys know the Bretton Woods Agreement that happened like decades ago, many decades ago, where they decided that if you want to buy oil, you have to actually send materials to America to buy dollars, and then use those dollars to buy oil for your country. That's extremely, extremely mafia-esque kind of a setup. Well, that's pretty much changing now, you know? That's a huge, yeah. Oh yeah? No, I don't need any more sleep. I don't want to be like Sleepy Joe Biden. I'm not sleepy. I'm quite awake, you know? I'm quite good. But yeah, we're talking about the U.S. empire. Yes, it was 50 years ago, yeah. More than 50 years ago. But yeah, the U.S. empire is definitely declining, guys. I mean, when you see the rhetoric, the fact that their failed little colonial project, Israel, is in so much trouble, so much political trouble. They're, you know, the fact that they actually act like gangsters, you know, they're like threatening the ICC prosecutors, telling them, oh, the ICC is not set up for Israel or our allies. The ICC is set up to only prosecute those ass backwards, you know, backwater African nations and thugs like Putin. The fact that they use this kind of rhetoric, that kind of behavior, it shows you everything about how desperate they are. They're very desperate. You know, they're just failing politically. Like the world is slowly not taking America and their allies seriously anymore when it comes to international law. Absolutely not. They're not taking them seriously anymore. And with the failed coup d'etat, you know, the coup that happened in Bolivia that failed, that was definitely a CIA job, you know. All these are pretty bad signs. All these are pretty bad signs, you know. Yeah, I mean, listen, you may not be hurt, but the U.S. is hurting deeply. Do you know the stats? 50% of people, over 50% of people in this country do not have more than $1,000 for an emergency, okay? More than half the people in this country are one paycheck away from being evicted from their home. That is not a good sign of the economy, okay? Most of the jobs, the new jobs being created are like low-paying gig jobs, gig work. It's not a real career. You know, like you need a minimum $100,000 in most states to be able to afford a home and have kids and have a, you know, what they call the American dream setup, where you have like a dog, you have 2 kids on a white picket fence. You need easily over $100,000 these days. And who's making that kind of money? Like the majority of young people they don't have that prospect for their future. Like 60% of young people polled do not have an optimistic outlook on the economic future, you know? So those are all signs that this country is in trouble, man. It's in serious trouble. I mean, the whole world is in trouble because of capitalism. But yeah. I mean, it's not Biden's America, guys. It's not Biden that's doing this, okay? That's just the general trajectory of an empire, you know? Because what it does is it exploits resources, it extracts and exploits resources for the benefit of the few, and then it constantly exploits its own people and keeps them dumbed down and uneducated to manipulate them, you know, for political and economic gain. But that over time turns to decadence, you know, as an elite financial class rise up that continually exploit and gut the wealth of the nation. Well, society overall slowly collapses from that point, slowly erodes, you know, and that's what's happening to this country. I mean, you know, 60 years ago, you could easily graduate from college, get a good job, and be able to afford, you know, a house and family, you know, as a person. But now both parents have to be working, and that does not meet the requirements to have a decent living. That shows you right there, man, the economy is in trouble. It's in serious trouble. And it's not going to recover. I don't think it's going to recover. We're not going to have the same kind of a standing as we did 50 years ago. It's just not going to happen. That's my perspective on it. But that's the whole point anyway. We want to transition to a society beyond capitalism. That's the entire point of what I argue. It's just the whole thing is fake, man. It's not a real economy. A real economy does not obsess over GDP and job creation and growth. A real economy simply asks the question, how do we organize society and how do we intelligently use our resources in the most optimized manner to meet human needs, to increase public health and restore the environment and protect the environment, right? How do we make sure our economic activities are within natural limits, And that's not what capitalism does. Capitalism does not ask the question, how do we feed people and house people properly and sustainably? No, capitalism asks the question, how do we create more jobs and economic growth? And then it only assumes that economic growth and job creation will lead to a better society. But as we can see, that is not the case at all. And we have plenty of history, plenty of evidence to look back on that is a failed system, okay? It doesn't work. No, it's not filling a need. Capitalism, that's a very blasé statement. It meets a need. I mean, yeah, capitalism meets the need to grow. Yeah, for economic growth. And economic growth, 90% of all economic growth goes to the top 1%, okay? Do you know that? 90% of all new growth, of all new economic growth goes to the top percent. That's a fucking fact, okay? I suggest you look that up. All you people who support capitalism, you look that up, okay? Be triggered by facts, okay? That's what I do. I have a business. Hello, I have a business. That's what I do. This YouTube thing I do is a side thing. I mean, it's a side hobby of mine, to be honest. I mean, it's important to me, but I don't do this for money. I mean, I have a Patreon. Hey, you want to support me on Patreon? Please do. I would appreciate the support right now. Things are not that great. But the main job I have is not YouTube. It's not even a serious thing for me. But I definitely do a lot of research. I guess I'm an intellectual to some degree. So I talk about society a lot. And I criticize capitalism. And I provide solutions to capitalism. So, I think you're just a failure. Get better, bro. Okay, good for you. Good for you. I do have a job. I probably make more money than you, clown. Okay? Anyway. The U.S. is actually truly free market capital. What are you talking about? The U.S. is nothing but free market capitalism. It is the most free market capital system there is. It is the most fundamentally free market system there is. The very fact that we have lobbying, the very fact that the government is up for sale, the very fact that AIPAC can proudly boast and brag about buying Congress, the very fact that oil companies, pharmaceutical companies can actually go and lobby against the interests of the people, the very fact that we have monopolies, these are all signs of a free market. I don't know what world you're living in, bro. Get your facts straight. This is a very unregulated. The U.S. is extremely deregulated. It's unregulated, okay? Not, I mean, China's a regulated economy, okay? And I don't agree with China either. I mean, I don't agree with China, but China's what you call state-governed capitalism, okay? It's not communist. China is a state-governed capitalist system. But that's what China is. What do I advocate for? I mean, that's my channel. If you look at my channel, I advocate not for communism or socialism, but I advocate for what's called a resource-based economy. A resource-based economy is basically an economy where we use the best of science and technology. We utilize the best of production, distribution technology, as well as information technology to arrive at the right conclusions for society. So like the way you build a car or build a house, the same way you build a house, you build society from the ground up. You don't build it with a bunch of ridiculous, outdated assumptions about human nature and competition and greed and all that nonsense. That's what capitalism does. You build society from the ground up, utilizing the most optimized forms of economic activity: production, distribution, recycling, you know, energy production, those things. Like, so a resource-based economy simply removes money from the equation, it removes competition from the equation, and basically has people working together in interdisciplinary teams of scientists working together to basically, it's a lot of research. You do a lot of research to find out, okay, in a given region, how do we generate energy for a certain amount of population for this region to meet their needs sustainably without needing to have overruns or shortages. And all that can be done right now. I mean, a basic clothing store you go to that has inventory, you know, that has tracking for inventory for like how many clothes need to be replaced or whatnot. You can have that same inventory kind of setup for an economy, you know, when it comes to energy, precious minerals, you know, biodegradable resources, like all those things, you know. So it can be done, man. It can be done. It's just we're not doing anything remotely close to that right now because we're stuck in capitalism. It's a free-for-all anarchy, you know, capitalism. Exactly, the RB, resource-based economy. I mean, you should look into my channel, guys who ask me what do I advocate for. Look at my channel. I have several videos about a resource-based economy, how it would actually function. It's not communism, though. Okay. Yeah, I know we can't store energy at scale. I understand that. I mean, to make a transition to like renewable, for example, is impossible given our current situation. That's why I'm doing an interview with Simon Michau, who is like, he's an actual geologist and an engineer who has done the research on the mineral capacity that we have, and we don't have the capacity right now to transition to renewable energy. Absolutely not. We can use mixed use systems, as well as what he talks about, which is like molten salt breeder reactors. Is actually a form of renewable energy. It requires a hefty amount of like setup to make it happen. But I mean, that's the whole point of my interview. I have next week. I'll be talking with him about how to make a transition. The green transition won't really work. You know, we have to have a different kind of a setup. We have to, based on every region, based on whatever region we're working with, we have to use that topography and the geography of that location to arrive answers that best suit the needs of the people there. So for example, I'm here by the river right now. All right. We can grow, we can probably create greenhouses right here. Greenhouses, permaculture, and we can drive the water from here, pump a desalination process right along the coast. So desalination process right here, pump water to the fruits and vegetables here. We can have farms, okay? We can have vertical farms going up along the coast. So we can do that. But instead we ship fucking, I don't know, everything from other countries, other poor countries. We ship fruits and vegetables and whatever we can actually grow here, we instead ship it from other countries over here, wasting tremendous amount of resources, polluting the atmosphere, obviously, polluting with these massive freight liners, you know. So those are the kind of concepts I'm talking about, like localization, trying to localize as much as you can. As much as you can. I know you can't localize everything, but you localize as much as you can, as much as possible, which is not what we're doing right now. I got to go into the shade every time I'm trying to look at the comments.
What are some things we can localize also?
Oh God, stakeholder capitalism. Stakeholder capitalism sounds like a fucking nightmare. It sounds like so dystopian. Uh, religion. I mean, look, religion. I'm not a fan of religion, man. I mean, people should have the right people should have a right to exercise their freedom to do whatever they want to do, as long as you don't harm other people. However, you gotta ask yourself the question, man. You gotta ask yourself the question. You gotta be honest with yourself. Why are you Muslim? Why are you Christian? Why are you Jewish? Why are you any religion? The answer is because of your culture, because of the parents you were born in, the family you're born into, the kind of culture you're raised within, right? The way you're raised and the people around you are the ones who influence you to choose a religion. You don't just choose it out of, you don't just wake up one day, oh, you know what, I'm a Christian today. That's not how it works, okay? Everything we choose in life is a result of the environmental influence that's been placed upon us, okay? So we're a product of our environment. Our behavior and our way of thinking is a product of our environment. So when you go to that level and you understand that, okay, people who are Muslim did not choose that religion. People who are Christian did not choose that religion. They're raised that way, they're influenced to be that way, okay? Now, people obviously switch religion as well, and they switch their brand of ideological brand, but even if you switch your religion, that's because of influence. It's all because of influence. So then we have to ask the question, what kind of influence do we want to place upon people, you know? And my argument is we should have a scientific influence. We should have a society which actually respects the scientific way of thinking, you know, the scientific method. I made a video about it recently. So if we have a society that actually is based on science and scientific literacy, I really don't think religion is in that kind of society, because you're trying to be truly objective. So religion would phase itself out. I'm not like trying to eradicate religion, but all I'm saying is like religion will eventually cease to exist in the society of the future. It will cease to exist, you know? So that's my answer when it comes to religion. It's because I am a caveman. I'm a caveman. But you know, I'm not an atheist either. I'm not an atheist because atheism is simply another form of, it's kind of its own religion, really. Like atheism is like the religion of not believing in God. They're so obsessed with not believing in something. So I consider myself to be spiritual. Spirituality, the original definition of spirituality means relationship. So I look to improve my relationship with the world around me. I look to improve the relationship between people. You know, if we improve the relationship we have with Mother Nature, then we are truly being spiritual. And the scientific method has actually allowed us to really truly be spiritual and like truly have a connection with the world around us. So I'm all for applying the scientific method to society itself, okay? So that's what I support, you know? Look at the comments. I know about the Quran, man. I grew up in Iran. Under the Islamic Republic. I was actually Muslim until the age of 26. Believe it or not, I was Muslim for many years. I practiced Islam. I read, I prayed, I fasted, all that stuff. But I gave up religion eventually because I saw it's not working for me. Religion was simply not providing the answers for why people do the things they do. Religion is not the way, you know? Science is the way. So, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in trying to do good. I believe in, you know, doing good things in life, trying to help other people. I'm far from perfect, but I try to do the good thing. And if you're doing good things for people, but you don't believe in God, that's totally acceptable to me. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? That's actually being spiritual. Religion was created by wealthy, powerful people. Don't you see that? You know, the three main religions are just simply a way for the powerful and the wealthy to control your thoughts, to control your behavior, so you don't revolt and overthrow their system. That's why religion existed, okay? There's a whole, like, deep documentary on Christianity and how it was actually imposed on the rest of the world. You know, the Roman Catholic, what's it called? The Roman Empire, the Council of Nicaea, where they sat down and they decided to actually politicize Christianity as a political weapon to invade and conquer other countries and resources and all that. So that's really that's what made Christianity so popular, you know? What else we got here? A lot of haters is awesome. You can tell I'm Iranian, yeah. I'm Persian. چطوری تو ایرانی هستی آقا؟ فارسیم خیلی بده. فارسیم این روزا ضعیفه. خیلی وقتی I am not a communist. I'm not a communist, okay? I'm not a communist. A lot of haters, man. That's good though. Keep the hate coming, yo. Keep the hate coming. Totally. It's amazing how many people are like dead broke and ain't doing nothing with their life, but they sit on their phone and they worship Elon Musk, they worship billionaires who ain't doing shit for you. Now, they'll never do anything for you, but you worship billionaires, you know what I mean? It's kind of sad. But yeah, when it comes to science, I'm not trying to make a religion out of science. No. I know how a lot of scientists can actually be completely dramatic with how they think about the world. I don't believe in that. I believe in simply asking questions and doing research on things before you jump to conclusions. That's all. Look at the research. Do the actual research before you jump to conclusions, you know? That's what I believe in. No, it's not, Tanya. It's actually not, because some people say such ridiculous shit. I can't possibly take the time out of my day to answer every single person, you know? If you give me like a valid critique of something, I'll talk to you. But if you're gonna say like, oh, you're a commie, leave the country if you don't like it, like that kind of shit, I'm not gonna bother, man. I can't answer every single person, okay? I'm not gonna do that. My time is valuable, I'm sorry.
Remember we were watching that little bit on the YouTube video and they were all sitting on the road?
Exactly.
Is that over here? That was over there.
Oh, I read the Quran. I told you, I was Muslim back in the day, but I reject religion. I don't like religion, you know? I mean, look, I support Palestinian, right? I support Palestinian self-determination. I'm a huge supporter of Palestine. I make several videos about Palestine, but I don't support Palestinians because they're Muslim or Arab. I'm neither of which. I'm not Arab or Muslim. I support Palestinians because they're humans and they have human rights. That's why I support Palestine. And Israelis can go to hell. Israel is a disgusting country, fucking disgusting nation, full of Zionists, disgusting fascist, neo-Nazi junk, you know. And any Israeli who supports Palestine and is against the Israeli government, I respect those people, obviously, and I know a few of them. But the rest of Israelis are like they're like probably one of the most brainwashed people in history of the planet. They're so brainwashed. It's so cringy, man. They're so cringe. Exactly. Palestine all the way, baby. Palestine all the way. You know, I'll always say, I would be so proud if I could adopt a Palestinian child. That would be my honor. That would be like the honor for me. To adopt a couple Palestinian children, take care of them, take good care of them. I would be so honored to do that because I love the determination, the passion, and the humanity of Palestinians is so clear to see. And the dehumanization they've been experiencing at the hands of Western media and Israel has been so horrible. And Israel have, majority of them have no soul. They don't have any compassion for humanity. They're very entitled and privileged people. All their money comes from America, supported by the West. It's a nanny state, pretty much. Israel's a nanny state, you know. They keep crying, oh, send us more 2,000-pound bombs. We want more bombs, you know. Why'd you cut off one shipment? Why'd you cut off one shipment? Very entitled, very privileged, you know. That's what Israelis are, in a nutshell. It's just a settler colonialist project, you know. Bunch of Zionist clowns running around. And they're such cowardly, like they're such cowards. I wish I could get like an Israeli to come to my gym and like fight with me in a ring. I would, oh God, things I would do. I wouldn't play nice, you know. Yeah, they're not real. Yeah, they're not real Jews anyway. Of course, they're not real Jews. They're not real Jews. They're fake. Persian poetry, baby. Come to my gym, yo. Come to my gym. My gym is called the Green Fitness Studio, where I actually have a rooftop garden. I have a garden at the rooftop. The Green Fitness Studio is in Bushwick, Brooklyn. Come see me. If you're Israeli, really come and see me. I would love to give you a warm welcome. I'll show you in the gym and show you around, you know. Show you around. Yeah, the Green Fitness Studio. Oh, I'm sorry if I scare you. I'm not the nicest person. Yeah, I'm not the nicest person. I stand firmly on my values. If you are somebody who respects humanity and wants to help the world and he wants to fight against capitalism, I will be your best friend. I'll be your best ally. But if you're somebody who, is just doesn't see things the same way, who, if you worship billionaires, you think capitalism is the best system ever, blah blah blah, then we're just not gonna get along. Sorry. My mom likes fitness. My mom, she's deceased, so I don't know if she liked fitness or not. I never got a chance to ask her, to be honest, sadly. Yeah, I mean, if you're living in America, if you have a business, capitalism is working. Yeah, capitalism is working well for me. Yeah, the clothing I buy is made in a sweatshop. The food I eat is made from farmers who probably don't get paid enough money. I walk over homeless people on my way to work. Of course, capitalism benefits me. Yeah, great. But if it benefits me, but I'm doing the best I can to expose it, that shows that I have some level of integrity, right? The fact that I have food on my table, the fact that I have a roof over my head, but I'm doing everything I can. I mean, the best I can to educate people on the fact that we can actually do way better than what we're doing right now. We don't have to have 1 billion people starving on this planet. We don't have to be destroying the ecosystems of our planet. We don't have to be having, species extinction rates at 10,000 times the evolutionary rate. We shouldn't be having these things, guys. It's only happening not because of humanity. It's because our economic system is completely devoid of any rationale or logic, and it's totally life blind. It's a life blind economic system. That's what capitalism is, and that's why we got to change it. We got to change it. We got to keep fighting to change it. We can never be content. Never be content. And by the way, now I can remove people. Okay, this is my first time. Like, I can remove. If you make shitty comments, if you make really incendiary comments, I'm gonna remove you. So just warning you, I will remove you from the chat. You'll be gone. I feel like I'm a dictator, I'm like a Stalin. I feel like a Joseph Stalin right now, touching my beard, like, yeah, I will remove you. I have so much power. I have ultimate power to remove you from the chat. All right, what else we got? My gym is called Green Fitness Studio. It's in Bush. Yeah, I own a business. I do own a business. I own a couple of things, Just because you live well within capitalism doesn't mean that you're a hypocrite. The system does not give me any other alternative, I wish I could just let people come to my apartment, homeless people come sleep in my room, whatever. I would allow that, but we live in a society that is not for altruism. The society we live in right now does not reward honesty and altruism. It rewards the exact opposite of altruism. So that's why we can only do so much with our means, But the fact that I have a channel, the fact that I work with a sustainability organization called the Zeitgeist Movement, the fact that I do my best, with my limited means, I'm just a person. I'm not a corporation. I don't have a team. It's just me. I don't have a team working with me. It's just me right here, Doing the best I can, So don't call me a hypocrite. I'm doing the best I can. There just seems to be a lot of people who are not critical thinkers in this chat. There's a lot of non-critical thinkers. You don't think critically about the world. You love to jump to labels and ad hominems and assumptions instead of actually taking a bigger picture. Take a look at the broader picture. Okay, don't be so triggered. Don't be so upset. Don't be so. I'm drinking some water. Don't be so triggered, man. Don't be so triggered. Relax. Take a deep breath. Do some research, Maybe get out in the sun a little bit. It's nice out. See? People playing volleyball. Yeah, where do you want to go next? You want to play volleyball? No, hell no. It's too hot, man.
No, I'm not playing
But yeah. So, ban threshold humanity? Why? What do you say? Yeah, all these stupid. No, people are not inherently dishonest. They're not, man. That's the culture that brings it out of them. And I mean, there's so many examples, so much evidence to the contrary, right? Why do we have a George Bush or like a Hitler, and we also have a Gandhi? What's the difference between like Martin Luther King and Netanyahu? What's the difference between the two of them? It's their upbringing. It's the way they're brought up. If you raise people with education, with love, family, with a good family, you know, with the good values, they will not be mean. They will not be dishonest. They will not be selfish. You know. So that all comes down to the environment in which you're raised. That's what it comes down to. And to all you bozos saying that because I own a business or that I have an apartment, so if I oppose capitalism, I should just give everything I have away, right? I should go live on the street and just fucking die, right? Is that what I should do? So if I don't like capitalism, if I don't like the fact that this system is destroying our planets, destroying our ecosystems, it's creating massive inequality, totalitarianism, poverty, and everything else. If I don't like that, if I have a single dollar in my bank account, I'm a hypocrite, right? So I should go out on the street. I should be homeless, give up my house, give up my apartment, give up everything I have, right? Give all my money away and go live in the jungle, right? Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? Do you see how stupid you sound by saying that kind of shit? Last time I checked, I was born into this society just like you were. I was born into this society that's existed for thousands of years this way. This society we're talking about has existed thousands of years this way. So for me to be born into a system that's had so much momentum for thousands of years, and for me to create an entirely new system, you know, I should go in the middle of the rainforest and create an entire society, right? I should develop houses and infrastructure and everything else that makes up a new economy, just with a couple people, right? Is that what you just sound so stupid, man? We're talking here about a global economic system that's destroying the planet and creating massive inequality. And we're talking about ways in which we can actually transition to a better system. That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about what I'm doing or what you're doing. What I'm doing is completely irrelevant. My life is fucking irrelevant, okay? It does not matter what I do in my personal life. It matters about the message I put out, the values that I uphold. That's what matters. In the end, it doesn't matter what the fuck I do in my life, okay? And that's just all pointless. You sound so stupid. You sound so ignorant. Oh yeah, this guy has $1 in his, you know, he's got like $1,000 in his bank account. So, you know, he's a hypocrite. You see how dumb you sound when you say this kind of stupid shit? You're exactly what's wrong with the world. Your ignorance is actually exactly what's poisoning our society. You're stupid, ignorant, you know. Fool, man, you're a fool. See what else you got to say here. Please, guys, I want some intelligent comments over here. These guys are so ridiculous.
Yo.
What up? Yeah, let's do some work, yo. Anyway, I came out here to do some, maybe play some volleyball, maybe enjoy the weather. But let's see, what else? I live in Brooklyn. I'm not a fan of the Thrive documentary because I mean it pretty much says the same. It says the same shit that like Zeitgeist movement says, you know, but it seems to be a little bit like based on trying to sell something, you know. I mean Thrive is okay. I mean it's good. I support all that kind of shit. Anyone who talks about transitioning beyond capitalism, I support it, you know. And my plan, well, as far as my plan goes, the plan is first and foremost to educate huge number. As you can see in the comment section, we're still very far from having an educated society. Very far, as you can see in the comment section, right? So the first goal is to educate people to think correctly, to actually think logically about the world around them. You get an educated number of people together, then you create communities. You create self-sustaining communities that live in completely diametrical, whose values are a complete diametrical opposite of capitalism. Once you create that, and as the system actually, as the actual existing system falls apart, more people will join your cause, you know? And that's going to require a lengthy video or documentary to go into that, you know? But That's pretty much the plan. But right now the plan is to educate people, about society, history, what's actually happened. What was humanity doing 10,000 years ago? Do people even know this kind of stuff? Like, what were we doing as human beings? What were we doing like 50,000 years ago? Do people know this kind of shit? These are the kind of things that people need to learn, about our heritage, our common heritage, where we came from, who we are, and where we need to be going. I'm gonna go in the shade because I can't read the comments. Well, I'm gonna check out the comments. But anyway, thanks guys for being on my stream. I really appreciate it. I mean, I love the interaction. It's pretty fun. And I will be coming out with a lot. My channel is just getting started, guys. I promise. I'm coming out with tons and tons of videos to exactly explain all the things I talked about here, to show all the haters that I'm not just like, a hypocrite, or whatever. Let's see. Much love, guys. I know about Edward Bernays. Yeah, he wrote a book called Propaganda. I have that book. I actually was telling my friend about it a couple of days ago. Like how badly Americans are the most brainwashed people and Israelis. The most brainwashed people in history. They really are. Thank you, whatever. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, whatever. What do you mean? I got one vaccination, but I didn't get the other ones, My thoughts on the vaccine are kind of not clear. I haven't done enough research to make up my mind on it, but the pandemic was for sure a scamdemic because it was a huge money grab for the corporations. I think it was one of the largest wealth transfers in history of humanity happened during the pandemic, where they made so much money. These large corporations, the pharmaceutical industry made so much money. So my main issue with that was how they handled it and how much money was made by the billionaire class while regular people suffered. Regular people suffered so much. It was horrible, financially, emotionally. Caused mass depression and everything else. So. Again, I answered you, dummy. I talked about it, moron. You can have money in your bank account and still be an anti-capitalist. Because guess what? I live in this system. Sorry, I have to have a job. I have to pay rent. I'm sorry if I have to do that, just like you have to do that. How does that make any fucking sense, man? You sound so stupid. Well, it's kind of funny seeing how pathetic some of you people, the haters, the haters. I don't remember that. Chat, Seattle?
Yeah, get him water. There's a water bottle. I tried to give him water 100 times.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not insulting anybody. I'm only going to talk crap back at you when you say stupid things like, oh, this guy has a single dollar in his bank account and he's against capitalism. He's a hypocrite. He's a dummy. When you say that kind of nonsense, I'm gonna reply. Yeah, of course, I'm gonna reply. Damn. Fine. Go wake her up. Yeah, so. Yes, I'm Persian. Yeah, I'm Persian. I live in Brooklyn. Yeah, transitioning from capitalism to what's called a resource-based economy. You should look into it. If you want to learn, look into it. It's called a resource-based economy, not communism. I'm actually having a debate with a communist leader in a few weeks, hopefully, to actually talk to them about how communism is a good idea, but it doesn't go far enough. I've actually been to a lot of communist meetings, and a lot of things they say is quite cringe. So I'm not a communist. I would say that I'm more of an anarchist than I'm a communist. More of an anarchist. And not the Hollywood definition of anarchism, no. Not the Hollywood definition where like people are running around with their heads on fire. Anarchism is actually a very beautiful ideology. It's about mutual aid, horizontal power, sharing of resources, eliminating inequality, eliminating hierarchy, and a cooperative-based society. That's what anarchism is, you know. So it's actually quite sophisticated. All right, so we're running on 45 minutes. I'll do another 5 or so minutes, and then I'll stop the stream. Anarchy actually does work. Well, not the anarchy you're talking about. Anarchy, there's an anarchist society in Rojava, Syria. There's an anarchist society in Spain, 1939. They had an anarchist society. It was actually doing fantastic, but guess why it failed? The capitalists got together and destroyed it. Okay, the military came in and killed people, literally killed people. So no, anarchism actually does work. Anarchism works amazing. There's a whole documentary on that, the Spanish Revolution, 1939. You should look into that. The anarchist revolution of 1939. Look into that. It's a very, very profound time in history. And you know, it was I think it was 2 million people got together and formed their own society with no money, no competition, no hierarchy, no police, no government, and they're doing quite fantastic. But why did it fail? The capitalists destroyed it. Because capitalism is, you know, being the shittiest system there is, capitalism always destroys any alternative. Because apparently it's the best system, right? If you're really the best system, you let people have their own society and then you decide which one's doing better. You don't constantly try to sabotage and murder your opposition. But that's what capitalism does. And then it says, oh, I'm the best system. I'm the best system, even though I kill everybody. I kill all the alternatives, you know? So, that's not capitalism. Okay, how is a system that removes money, markets, competition, inequality, hierarchy, right? How is that system capitalism? Do you even know what capitalism is? Do you even know what capitalism is? Really, answer that for me. If you actually ask most people what is capitalism, even a lot of supporters of capitalism can't even define their system, can't even define what capitalism actually is. And that's a sad reality, man. Yeah, I mean, like, look, regarding Bitcoin is going to be another problem, okay? Bitcoin is going to be another problem, because think about it. Bitcoin is not about the proliferation and the sharing of resources for everybody, okay? If you own a Bitcoin, you have to invest money to buy Bitcoin, right? So it's still a form of managing scarcity, if you think about it. Bitcoin is still another form of a scarcity-oriented worldview. All right, think about that. The only reason we trade, the only reason me and you trade, or we compete, or we own things, you know, like invest money in this or that, or invest money in Bitcoin, is because we live in a society that is determined, predominantly functions off of managing scarcity. Okay, so Bitcoin is still another method of managing scarcity. In a society that actually seeks to pursue abundance and efficiency for the entire human species, Bitcoin would not exist in that kind of society. And Bitcoin is going to be another massive bubble that will burst and will fail. It will fail. Trust me. Bitcoin is not going to work, you know. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Bitcoin. I do have a video on my channel. I have a link to a podcast that was done on Bitcoin a couple of years ago. If you go on my channel, I made a video on debt. Scroll down on my channel. I made a video on debt and money, why money is a scam. If you look in the description of that video, I have a link there to a YouTube video by Peter Joseph, where actually he breaks down why Bitcoin is actually never going to work. Okay, so I suggest you check that out. So my thoughts on Bitcoin is a resounding no. I'm not a supporter of Bitcoin. It's going to be another scam. It's going to be another money Ponzi, Ponzi scheme in the end. Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be another way to make rich people richer, basically. And I agree, the West is dying. I agree with you on that, 100%. Mansoor, I agree with you. Yeah, I did. Yeah, the David Graeber book on debt is a really good book. I recommend that for everybody to read that book. It's called Debt, the First 5,000 Years. Great book. I'm originally from Iran, but I live in Brooklyn, New York right now. Actually, I don't defend the vaccination. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, how interesting. A guy who's anti-vax also defending Bitcoin. You sound pretty consistent in your way of thinking. But I think I'm gonna ban you because you're kind of like you're not productive. So I'm getting rid of you. You're out of here, buddy. Bye. You're banned. Bye bye. I'm sorry, I don't have Iranian ideals, okay? I don't have any kind of ideals. I have a worldview. I don't have an Iranian ideal. And I don't care for Iran, to be honest. Iran is pretty much a lost cause at this point. It's a corrupt government, it's a corrupt regime, they're murderous. The Persian people, I support the Persian people, but the Iranian government are a bunch of hypocrites. They support Palestine, but they don't support their own people, you know? They oppress women. They don't have women's rights to wear whatever they want. But then they go and support Palestine. I mean, I support that action of supporting Palestine, but why would you not allow women to have freedom in Iran? Why would you oppress your own people? Why would you sell the oil to foreign countries, the good oil, you know? And you only keep the dirty shit at home that pollutes your environment, you pollute your cities. It's a very corrupt, I mean, I can speak for hours about the Iranian government, how corrupt they are, but I mean, basic income is a good thing. Basic income is a good step in the right direction, but it's not an absolute solution, no. Which country is better? I mean, I think the Scandinavian model is pretty good. The Scandinavian countries are doing probably the best example. Like even though capitalism is the worst system in the history of humanity, Sweden, Norway, Switzerland, those are pretty good countries because they have a high taxation of the rich, they have low inequality, they have environmental protection, they have workers' rights, they have strong unions, they have low political corruption, right? They have really good health care, good education, good housing. So that's what is good about their society. But even those societies cannot be duplicated all over the world because capitalism is about inequality, okay? So the same way we have rich and poor in this country, we also have rich nations and poor nations, and then we also have the middle class nations. So Scandinavia is like the upper middle class of the world, but it has to exist that way, you know? So you can't have an upper middle class country all over the world. No, some countries are there to be exploited, mainly the global south. Some countries are there to do the exploiting, mainly the global north, you know? So that's a sad reality. That's why we have to overthrow capitalism in the end, you know? So yeah, America is the best at big screen TVs, waging war, massive inequality. You know, it's the lowest on literacy out of all developed nations. It's the highest in gun violence out of all developed nations. It's the highest in obesity out of all developed nations. It's the highest in mental illness out of all developed nations. Yeah, it's number one. Sure, yeah. If you want to talk about number one, sure, it's the number one. Big screen TVs and small brains. Yeah. Woohoo! What a great accomplishment. Anyway. Exactly. I mean, America, what it did to Latin America, it should be talked about until the end of time. What they've done to Latin American nations, bankrupting poor countries, bankrupting the economies of Mexico, propping up drug cartels, propping up, you know, corrupt dictatorships, brutal dictatorships. Like what happened in Chile is an absolute crime. What they did in Chile is absolutely horrendous what they did. So, the CIA, you know, what the CIA did in Chile. Damn. That's a happy dog.
That's a super happy
Wow.
dog. This is Norman.
Pretty boy.
Yeah, he loves grass.
I'm doing a live stream on my channel. You know, yeah, it's pretty cool. Put a little dog in there. And my face is plastered all of this thing the whole time.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Nice. Beautiful dog. That was a very cool dog. I love cats, but I love dogs too. But I'm a cat person. Because, you know, most dogs smell pretty bad, right? This dog smelled really good. And the girl was kind of cute. If I wasn't live streaming, I might have been doing something else, you know. Might talk to her a little more, get some coffee, you know, chat about capitalism. Hey, girl, are you an anti-capitalist like me? Are you down with the mission? What's up? Much love, man. Much love. Thank you for the support. I know. My tax money goes to bombing children. Of course. That's why I don't pay. I try my best not to pay taxes. Okay. I have all kinds of methods to avoid paying taxes. Okay. And I think that's gonna get me in trouble for saying that shit. But it's okay. You guys can. You heard it right here. Okay. You heard it. Yo, Bruno, what's up, bro? So this guy, what is his name is Crispin Bands. I love how he, you know, everything he uses was created by capitalism, and he's talking against capitalism. The iPhone was created by capitalism. It was like created by capitalism, Like, when are you gonna malfunction? Saying the same gibberish, stupid shit. Yes, capitalism created my mother. Capitalism, you see this, like, you see the sky? Capitalism created the sky. Capitalism created the earth. You know that capitalism created that solar system? Do you know that capitalism created God? Capitalism created everything, brother. You know, capitalism, you see this stone, this right here? This like piece of gravel? That was created by capitalism too. Everything was created by capitalism. Everything was created by capitalism. You heard that? Capitalism gave birth to my mother. It's exactly this kind of stupid propaganda that holds us back as a species, you know, to say the free market is the greatest system of innovation the world has ever seen, said a person who's done no research, absolutely no research on true innovation, where it actually comes from. I'm not gonna go into that right now, but if you want to really learn where innovation comes from, read the book Drive by Daniel Pink. I mean, I talked about it in my last video. Drive by Daniel Pink. You know, No Contest by Alfie Kohn is another great book that shows that competition is actually the worst way of innovating. You innovate by sharing resources. You innovate by having open source platforms. You cannot innovate by having a bunch of corporations that hoard knowledge and compete with one another for proprietary intellectual property ownership. You cannot innovate that way. And the fact that we can even innovate in our society the way we do is actually a testament to the true beauty of the human mind, you know. But we have all these like mechanisms that actually hold us back as a society. Corporations, you know, intellectual property. It's just like a stupid idea. How can an idea be owned by somebody? Does that make any sense? It's just so ridiculous. Anyway, I'm sorry, I got carried away. Let's see. Yeah, I read that. Manufacturing consent. Yeah. I don't like capitalism. What belief do I like? I mean, first of all, tuition, college should be free. Education should be completely free at this point, because if you're educating the next generation, that's going to come back to your society. Anybody who says we don't have enough money for education is a fool, because we've had hundreds of billions of dollars to send to Ukraine and to Israel to bomb people, yet we don't have money to educate people. Does that make any goddamn sense? Think about that, okay? A single aircraft carrier could put God knows how many people through a 4-year university. But we have aircraft carriers instead. We have F-2 bombers instead. Think about how dumb that is. That shows that our system does not prioritize the well-being of human beings. This system does not prioritize the well-being of the planet. It prioritizes money for rich people. That's about it. It's an elitist system. And if you're a poor person who supports capitalism, you've been conned, you've been lied to, you've been brainwashed. Sorry, I feel bad. I wish I could help you. But let's see what else. We're almost done here, okay guys? I gotta go. Actually, per capita, last time I checked, Scandinavian nations innovate more per capita than America does, okay? You can look that in the book called The Spirit Level by Richard Wilkinson, who's like a epidemiologist from the United Kingdom. He did a massive, like that book is incredible, massive amounts of charts and graphs and studies that have shown that, you know, countries, developed nations with less inequality actually innovate more. They have more patents per million than those with a massive inequality, okay? So that's a reality. I mean, I think we should help the impoverished communities as much as possible. I mean, I think we should try to help people as much as we can, but we should also advocate for a new system. Like simply handing out money to like a poor person is patchwork, right? You want to be able to uplift that person. That you want to give them education, healthcare, housing, family life, you know, everything that you have, that person should have as well. But that's only going to be achieved when we actually transition to a society that actually pursues the deliberate pursuit of abundance and efficiency and the raising of the life standards of everybody, you know, the improvement of public health of the entire population. Once we do that, that's when the world will actually improve, you know. Until then, we can't. We're not going to be able to achieve that. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being on this live stream with me. I'm going to get going. It's been over an hour now. I'm at the park. I'm like, it's so hot here. I want to take off my shirt and flash people with my anti-capitalist nonsense. Okay, last thing I want to say. What can we do individually to bring about a world beyond capitalism? 1, educate yourself. 2, try to educate other people. 3, try to find like-minded people, even though it's hard. Try to find people who think the same way as you do. And then form communities. You know, it's very important to form communities, form tribes, form groups so you don't feel alone. You know, you work with other people who think the way you do, you know? So that's how you can actually kind of bring about a better reality. We have to form groups, workers, co-ops, shared, you know, whatever, you know, whatever we can do. Right now, my mind's not working really well. I gotta go, but thank you. Thanks everybody for being here. Guys, I love you very much. Much love, guys. I'm gonna try to enjoy the rest of my Sunday. I wish you all the best, and stay tuned. I'm gonna be posting a new video every week for the next 5 weeks. That's my goal, okay? On the main videos area. All right, guys. Peace out. Much love. Talk to you all soon. Fuck capitalism. Peace.